Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Freedom's Hub Free Market Cash Patient. I'm your host, Jeff Cantor, along with my co-host, Charles Frohman. We're sponsored by the Marketplace for Wealth, and Freedom. I'm sorry, I was stumbling over that at your-mp.com, which is where all the disruptors love to hang out. We've got issues in the health industry, as we've been pointing out from week to week to week, and it always seems like it's more egregious than the week before, and the problem is becoming obvious. In fact, it's a very big problem. And in fact, as we go along, we're getting mixed messages on what is to be right and what is wrong, and then what's it turning into? That's what we don't really know, but it could be trouble. So we're very concerned, and so we want to expose all that. We also do similarly during the day. We have a channel that kind of covers other areas of your freedoms that are also under assault and who's trying to help out. So you want to take a look at that. And frankly, you're going to want to also look at our health program. This is the link to get to that. This is the way for you can at least take immediate control of your own personal health care world. And this is the way you can kind of charity begins at home. You might as well fix your situation. And let's go take a quick detour over at the main site, because you'll see it's the archive for everything. When you get over here, there's a lot to look at. There's a number of drop downs. We're just going to focus on a couple things for sure. There's the webinars, which is why we're here tonight. And then the important one, which is continuing the conversation. Let's kind of jump ahead. If you go to that, you'll see this is where you get a chance to connect with the speaker after the fact and find out more, drill down, get involved, whatever it may take. This is your chance to really connect other than just hearing this one enlightening little webinar itself. And then also from the homepage is the webinar page itself. So if you click on that, here you'll come where you'll see the breakout of the 2 webinars of the day, the ones that are forthcoming, and then most importantly, the links to the ones that were. So you'll want to see these, or you'll see them in hindsight. Wow, that was great. Or like, here's an example. I was in here and I picked on one of these that I said a great title. It's 3 weeks ago already, or a month ago. Great. I love it. You come back to continuing the conversation. You can connect with that person, even though it was from the before, because needless to say, these issues continue. So we're trying to make things happen, and we need your help. So on that note, Charles, why don't you give us a rundown of what we're going to be in store for today?
Gladly, Jeff, and welcome, Karla.
Thank you.
This is a really unique topic that we discovered sort of by accident a month ago, And one of Karla's clients, Dan Knopfsinger, presented on the Private Membership Association method to give more discriminating patients and more cutting edge healers a method to allow that healing to take place outside the crushing limits of the state. And apparently, the whole dynamic of PMAs is an old concept. Through mutual aid or older private membership associations, it's been around for a long time. And we heard those of us on the earlier weekly show at 4 o'clock, Brittany Schaefer, talk about the potential of PMAs to erect really comprehensive hospitals that will become more important as people grow weary of the bullying happening in the hospitals, whether it's requirements to take a COVID test that entails a swab up next to your brain, or to get a vaccination that's risky and maybe of questionable value, et cetera, et cetera. And Karla Dahlstrom is one of the vendors out there that professionals seek guidance from on how to enact a PMA. You know, if we're gonna offer cutting edge therapies in health, or even services in other markets, how do we do it in a way where we won't get hassled by the government or lawyers? And so she's apparently the right one to explain how to do it in that way. Jeff, so that's the intro.
I can absolutely do that. Okay.
Excellent.
And it happened, just because I was put here on this earth. There is a way that you can operate in the private domain versus the public domain. And, you have to respect, people that regulate by statute their duties, to protect the public. But if you're not doing anything, that's with an ill intent, you can perform all these wonderful alternative modalities or whatever. So that's what we're all about. We've been in business for 50 years.
So tell us, Karla, about those 50 years of growth.
Yeah, my dad, he founded this company 50 years ago, and he and my mom did actually. And he wanted me to work for him full time. There's a story behind everything, I think, but since 2003, and he died in 2016, and he left his legacy to me. And I love helping alternative doctors do what they do best. My mom had lupus, and, we ran around and tried to find any alternative cure. And, traditional medicine, it does have its place, let me tell you. It does. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I think there's other things that you can do as well, don't you think?
No question. If you need a surgeon or emergency care, allopathic medicine offers a lot of value. But if it's for the 60% to 80% of chronic diseases, I think people are seeking more integrated care in droves. Isn't that correct?
I think you were very well spoken. Yes.
What's the typical person that would be doing a PMA? What type of a business enterprise? Is it like a regular doctor?
Well,
or who do you normally
so
utilizing these with?
Okay, so the U.S. Supreme Court says that you can form a private membership association for any field of human interest. Now, I'm in the legal business, so we're a private membership association, but our most of our member base is in the alternative medical field for some reason, and it has been. But yeah, we work in all kinds of industries because here's the deal. The legal principles with forming a private membership association, they all remain the same, no matter what that field of human interest is, right? So yes, alternative doctors, yes, we definitely, have a lot of those type of professions.
Well, with the doctors, I can appreciate that because it allows them to kind of communicate where like they might get shut down if they try to post something on Facebook that they can talk with impunity amidst their members. But why would a different kind, why would I don't even know what other kind of business would normally do this other than you're in the legal profession. What other kind of business would find a need for a private membership association?
Do you like to drink raw milk?
Okay, that's an interesting. Let's say what would be the top 5 types of organizations nationally that would do such a thing like you're doing here?
There's all kinds of different industries, and I would encourage anyone that's interested in our services to call in and talk to me directly because we definitely, we want to focus on, you and your business. And so I don't like to talk in general terms. I like to one-on-one.
Sure. Would this be as an example, let's say I'm a small business and I'm C Corp or an LLC. Would I want to ditch that and do this instead? Or does it have to be around a certain kind of a thing, like you said, drinking raw milk, or let's say we like to collect Corvettes?
There's purposes for being a C Corp, an S Corp, and an LLC. Okay, there are reasons for that. But if you wanted a PMA, a private membership association, we would find out if the two companies could coexist, or, you know, maybe you would want to dissolve that LLC.
Karla, let's give an example of how this would work, and maybe Brittany, you can unmute yourself and we can talk this through. Say someone wants to operate not just an alternative or natural health clinic, but maybe a larger operation that has multi-specialties in it. Say a hospital that respects informed consent, which is, you know, something they don't do anymore. How would that conversation sound like between you and that person? What are the legal structures that you would explain? Maybe if we just go through an example, we can learn more how this works. Does that sound good?
That would, yeah, we could talk further on that. I don't think it would. We would not get anywhere in a hospital setting because there's so many rules and regulations. But I do have many doctors that want to do something outside of the box, you know, like anti-aging or longevity medicine, and so they form their own PMA. But I mean, you see, the whole thing is with the PMA, we don't want to circumvent the law. I mean, that's ridiculous. But we like to conform with it, and you know, make it work with us, and it's actually beautiful.
So could I just throw a question in?
Sure.
So my concern, I have a daughter with special needs, and we're in and out of hospitals, and it's becoming more and more restrictive to the point that, you know, she's going in for surgery on Monday, and this time they've, for the first time, said that they need to know my vaccination status, and if I'm not vaccinated, I have to get a COVID test. So we're seeing this creep come in where it's like it's just becoming more and more authoritarian. And my concern is, you know, down the road, we're still going to need emergency care. Lots of people are going to need emergency care. What I would like to do is set up some kind of, not a huge hospital, but like an emergency care center that only treats members. So what would the law on PMAs have to say about that?
I would like to talk. I'd like to talk to you one-on-one directly. I could tell you, and then you could share that information with your group or your community.
Yeah, I would love that.
Please feel free to call me like directly after this call, because I'd love to talk to you. But you know, I feel like I can't. Gosh, I mean, this is such a beautiful cause that you have.
And it's so needed because so many people are going to, you know, sometimes you can't help it. You need medical care. You need urgent medical care.
Right,
well,
right. No, I hear you.
Yeah. So I can't actually call you tonight because I'm pretty tied up, but I will, I'll get your number and I will call you like in the next day or so. I would love to talk.
Okay. That sounds good.
So Karla,
I want everybody to have my number.
Is it up here on the site under this contact us area?
What now?
On your website, is it under the contact us area?
It's right there in the black bar there, 469, Jeff.
Oh, I see it there, yes.
That's my office number, and then I'll give you my cell phone number, and that's 214-585.
That's listed as well.
Go ahead, 284-585.
No, I'm sorry, 214.
Yes.
585.
Mm-hmm.
3480.
Okay.
And call me anytime. But I'm basically, I talk one-on-one to people because they have certain needs, you know, that other people don't have.
Right. Absolutely.
And we figure it out.
No, that's the kind of person you'd like to be able to work with, because opposed to trying to cookie cutter everything or download some form from
we don't do
Zoom.
that.
So that's very good. All right, good. Well, that's part of what we do on the call too, is the ability to get people to connect here, because like we said, this is the disruptors intersection, and we're trying to further each other's cause. So this is really quite good.
Okay.
So let's expand on that a bit. You know, this is an educational weekly webinar series. So for that anti-aging or longevity practitioner that has worked with you in the past, how has that conversation gone when they call you for that one-on-one? What are some of the things you learn about what they want to do? What legal recommendations do you make for the PMA to work? I've seen on your website a couple of amendments, first and 14th, how to protect assets. Maybe you can walk us through that
That's a good
conversation.
question. No, it's a very good question. It works very, very well. In fact, and I can, we have many, many members, but the one person I was talking about, he's a chiropractor. So anyway, but this guy, he was like, I'm a chiropractor, Karla, but I want to do something outside the box, outside of the occupations code of chiropractic. I'm like, okay. And so he does that within his PMA.
Go into the process of getting a PMA set up. That's kind of what we want to learn.
Okay. Well, first of all, you'd have to be a member of ProAdvocate Group. I'm not an attorney, and we're not a law firm, but we were founded, many, many years ago. And I would just suggest to people just to call me directly.
I appreciate that. I think what Charles is kind of getting at, let's say you and I had that one-on-one conversation. What are the physical steps I need to now take to actually put this thing in place? Do I file something with the state? Do I come up with an agreement? Open up a bank account? I mean, what are kind of the physical practicalities of it?
Yes. First of all, you'd have to be a member of ProAdvocate Group. And then what we do is we set up your articles of association. And then, we help you get your EIN and so forth. But,
so it does have an EIN like a normal business, so I could just go to the bank and open an account and all that stuff. So that part of it's kind of familiar. It's just more the actual setup that's the difference.
Yeah, it's very streamlined. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty convenient then. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. All right, Charles, I was going to see, did you have a little question you wanted to throw in there? We can kind of put a little bow on this package.
What is the potential market for the PMA, Karla? How big can this thing get?
Huge.
And what makes you say that? How would you describe the demand for it growing in the future?
I think there was a great demand for it in the beginning, but I think that when the COVID thing happened, I feel really bad. I mean, I don't like anyone. I don't like the COVID thing. You don't like it either. But it opened up people's lives or eyes, and they said, wait, we have the freedom to do this and that, right? And thank you for the opportunity for this.